The Cleveland Browns trading for Zadarius Smith is a game-changing trade. It changes the game in terms of how I think of the Cleveland Browns. What I believe they will be in 2023 as a football team. It changes my hopes and aspirations for the Cleveland Browns. It means that they're all in on Deshaun Watson, as they rightfully should be given the contract they gave the man. And despite the looming question about his ability to play this year, this is a football team. This is a loaded roster. This Cleveland team didn't just add a pass rusher, they added the missing piece to their defense. That is what they added in Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith last year had 10 sacks. Zadarius Smith was coming off of injury, and despite that, played 822 snaps, was graded as the 9th best pass rusher in football, the 13th overall edge defender in football, and he has great versatility in his game. He's great as a pure pass rusher in a way that Jadeveon Clowney never was for the Cleveland Browns, and he can do everything in the run game that you would expect from Clowney. This is what the Browns hoped they had in Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett. Now they really have what they once upon a time thought they would have. This is the ultimate Robin to Myles Garrett's Batman. This is a pass rusher that can line up everywhere. This is somebody that can win on stunts and blitzes, that can win off the edge with power. This is a player that can play on all 3 downs in all situations and succeed. And now when you add Dalvin Tomlinson, Zadarius Smith, Myles Garrett, I know they brought in that rotation rusher from Houston, Okoronkwo, I believe is how you say his name. We're just going to go with Oscar. But he was more of that third guy, the situational pass rushing type of player. And I was concerned about this position previously. And because now they have Jim Schwartz, we know how much he values pass rush, a front 4 that can get to the quarterback. You look at his Lions days, you look at his Eagles days. He's always had that to rely on. And now he has it in Cleveland. And I like him as a defensive coordinator. I think he is drastically better as a coach than what you had previously. Zadarius Smith changes the game. This trade changes the game. It's not a receiver, it's not a quarterback, but it's somebody that changes the outlook of Cleveland's defense, how they can play against a Buffalo, or against a Kansas City, or against the Chargers, or against any of these teams that's going to be pass happy with a great quarterback in the AFC. Because now they have a front 4 that can get to the quarterback. They have a very respectable number 2 pass rusher to Myles Garrett. You can't pay too much attention to Myles Garrett now, or Zadarius Smith is going to feast. He did that a year ago. With Minnesota, one of the worst defenses in all of football, he still succeeded in that situation. It's only for 1 year. He's going to be making $11.75 million for Cleveland in 2023. But like I said, Cleveland is all in for 2023. They're going for it. They traded for Elijah Moore. They made some big moves with Juan Thornhill and Dalvin Tomlinson in free agency. And now they've traded for still one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, Zadarius Smith. The trade was the Browns get Zadarius Smith, a 6th and a 7th in 2025. The Vikings get a 5th in 2024 and a 5th in 2025. Pretty awesome deal if you ask me for Cleveland. The Vikings, we knew that Zadarius kind of wanted out. I was kind of wondering if he was going to end up staying on the team. But now he's found a new home. It's a slightly different system than I've ever really seen Zadarius Smith play in, to be fair. And I do wonder how that's going to work out. But, I mean, at the end of the day, a pass rusher is a pass rusher, man. And this guy can rush the passer. He actually had a career high 5 passes defended last year, getting up and knocking balls down at the line of scrimmage. He had 44 tackles. He had 15 tackles for loss, which was the second highest of his career. 10 sacks, as I suggested already. And this was somebody that, coming off a major injury, played almost every snap for Minnesota last year. And he probably won't be asked to do that in Cleveland, but he still can if they want him to. I just love this move. I have always been a fan of Zadarius Smith. I thought a couple years ago he was one of the best top 3-4 edge rushers in the league because of his versatility, how you can align him, how you can use him, and just how successful he is at winning. And I think he's a smart football player. I think he's a tough football player. And I think he brings a difference maker to Cleveland that they really needed. Like before, I was thinking Cleveland's defense would be okay. Now, it changes it for me. Because now you've got a real front four. Now you've got, in combination with that, a really, really strong secondary. I like your cornerbacks. I think Thornhill drastically upgrades the safety position. And maybe you don't have great depth, but as long as you avoid major injuries, I feel like your defense should be a lot stronger than what it's been the last couple of years. And offensively, we know they have all the pieces. It just comes down to which Deshaun Watson is going to show up this year. And it's going to come down to him to really... How high is this ceiling for Cleveland? Because if Deshaun Watson is the guy that they traded for, this is a team that could go to the AFC Championship. That's how talented this team is now that they've added Za'darius Smith. I never questioned the upside in terms of the offense, but now I think there's a real ceiling with this defense that didn't really exist before this trade. So I'm extremely pumped for Browns fans. I think this is a game-changing move for not just the Browns, but the AFC North, the AFC. And if you're a Vikings fan, I think you kind of saw this coming. I think you kind of knew this was going to come at some point. And I think this just shows you that the Vikings are kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out for 2023. They still have Cousins. They've got enough talented players. But how much longer is Cousins going to be their guy? Probably makes them a decent team, but not a great team this year. And they'll probably be looking to rebuild as soon as next year. So the Browns are all in. The Vikings are not. Zadarius Smith is now a Cleveland Brown. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Gronk, spike the like button and subscribe if you haven't. It's Mitch. Peace.